Welcome, world, to Life, Love, and Wellness Global, a worldwide wellness movement. I am Reverend Sandy Rogers, and as the creator of this historic event, it is my pleasure to welcome you. We come together to bring you this historic event. We have practitioners, holistic practitioners. We have medical doctors. We have spiritual individuals. This event is so lovingly dedicated to my mother, Mrs. Barbara Dean Brown. And my mother taught me like 40 plus years ago about the importance and the meaning behind herbs. And she would always say, we don't know what they putting in those pills, so you better not, get hooked on prescription drugs. And so we listened to Mom, but not all of us paid attention. My sister, bless her heart, was diagnosed recently thereafter with asthma, and she was prescribed prednisone, which is a very powerful steroid. And my sister actually got hooked on steroids, like someone out on the street kind of hooked, like on heroin or crack or something like that. And so my mom and my sister are both on the other side, living in the other dimension, but they're upholding me, and this is dedicated to their memory. So we don't want to come and make you change your mind about what you're doing. We just want to provide information to you, something different, so that you have options to choose from, so that you're not stuck. Because the environment that we now live in, the fast foods, the toxins in the air that we breathe and in the water that we drink, and the processed foods, and all of that is causing havoc on this precious body temple. So God created our bodies to heal themselves, but they can only heal themselves when they're fed and they're nourished and they're stress-free. And so the 60 or so or more experts that we have are bringing you this worldwide wellness movement in an attempt to share their testimonies and their information with you. So we have from age 14 on up. I don't even know what the oldest age is. I think 88 or something. So you see, that's a wide range of knowledge that we're bringing you. And so we hope that you come and that you get all the knowledge that you need to affect a positive change on your life, and share this with others. It's free, it's online, and so we're just so thankful that you decided to be a part of our listening community, the viewing community, and we certainly appreciate you for giving us your time of day and your energy and your efforts to being with us and to being a part of this historic event. We have pulled together people of color for you, by you, right? So we want to make sure that you understand that we too, melanated people with color, can enjoy, practice, and participate in some of these modalities that others have been doing for centuries, and that is pretty new to our community. So we talk about Qigong, we talk about meditation, yoga, spiritual work from a different perspective than religion. So we talk about the spirituality aspect. We talk about abuse in the families. We talk about all kinds of subjects because we know that in our communities there are layers and layers and layers and layers of stuff that we never talk about that's causing a negative effect on our bodies and its healing process. So we address it, whatever it is, and we hope that you will benefit from the many experts that we have, and that you walk away with lots of knowledge and lots of new information, and that you become fully empowered to share information with others. So thank you for being with us. We love you and we bless you, and we look forward to doing this again. But thanks for being here with the first one. We appreciate you.
Life, love, and wellness. Life, love, and wellness.
Yes, my name is Korey Gotoo. I am originally from Mexico. I came to the United States 20 years ago, and my background per se of my race, of my culture is Mexican Indian, Japanese, French German, and Spanish. So I have the best of all worlds. And I love that. So colonics, I do hydrocolon therapy at Clear Path Wellness Center. I co-own the business, and we cater to help people to detox. It's detoxing, helping, for example, if they already have issues, medical issues that they need to detox. We help them to just to preventing our health. And how the colon therapy is performed is that we do have a room where we have purified water, and the device that helps us to bring the purified water, it's brings it nice and warm to the body and releases the waste. So it's very comfortable, very hygiene, and I'm able to be with the client in order to assist with massage on their intestines, massage a little reflexology in their hands, and talk and learn from them what are their needs. For example, if they are having regular bowel movements but they just need detoxing, so we cater to that. Or if they already have issues like constipation or digestive issues. So it's all catered to an individual, individually. So I loved what I do. I believe the Creator has have me in a place like this in order to assist myself, and that's how I started to having colonics. My health declined when I was 35 years old, a little bit because of the American diet, and so colonics and healthy eating, exercising has assisted me to be able to be better now and have a great life, I should say. Yes, healthy great life. So that's what we do for colonics, and that's how I became a therapist, because I realized the need of these services, and there's not many that I could see of therapists out there doing our service. So I love my clients. I call them angels, earth angels. So we assist each other to heal. Yes.
So what's considered a normal bowel movement?
Considered a normal one. First of all, if we're eating 3 times a day, we should be able to have 3 bowel movements. That
Per
is
day.
per day. That's considered for every meal that we have. But many of us don't, obviously, for a diet. Kind of a normal one will be like a banana look, per se, a little bit very soft, not broken down, but not hard. So that it's, any fluids, you sit in the toilet and things move faster, just not like you sit there forever, and then that is considered normal. Exactly. And then, of course, in between all of those, we have the constipation. That too becomes to be like little rocks and boulders. I call it rocks and boulders. Or 2, diarrhea, because the body will create diarrhea in order to eliminate those rocks and boulders. So sometimes people will think, oh, I clean completely out because I had a diarrhea. Well, not necessarily. We can be surprised that there are other things in behind because they became dehydrated. So, yes.
Now I heard someone explain it, that the walls of the intestine,
Yes.
both the small and the large, flour and other food items like that can get stuck on the side like a plumbing pipe, and so it becomes clogged up, and that's
Yes.
one of the reasons why we're not able to have a normal bowel movement.
And absorption. That too causes not to have a good absorption of your foods. If many of us, because I include myself, are taking, which I call complements, not supplements, complements. So exactly. So if the walls of the intestines are clogged, cover, whatever we like to say, then we're not absorbing the nutrition. And that's for every single one of us. Now, many of us, obviously, our diet here in the United States mostly too, is we have a lot of flour. So bread, pasta, potato, rice, and even dairy create issues like that in our intestines. Now, the best diet obviously is what God intended, which is raw fish, which is fruits and vegetables. Raw, the better. Light saute, where we're still not killing the nutrition from it. One of the things that I learned from one doctor, scientist, holistic, he told me, he says, dead food for a dead body. So it opened my eyes, because dead food, then start thinking about it, that is the processed foods. They're dead. They're really not alive. They're not fresh. And so I was thinking, wow. And then he says, live foods for a live body. So start thinking about the fruits, the vegetables, and everything. At the same time, he says, you never seen a pizza tree. I was like, oh my goodness. You never seen a bread tree. And I was like, okay, you make a point. Yeah, great. So that's how I too started thinking about it, obviously, how important is our diet, and fresh foods. Yes.
And you say that your digestive system was a little strained once you came in and took on the American diet.
Yes.
Because there's less fresh in our diet. Is that mainly what that was?
Yes, mainly I introduced a little bit more of bread and pastas and rice and all of those glue things. That's why we call it gluten. They glue in our intestines. That's what they are. So I introduced those a little bit more in my diet instead of more fresh and vegetables that I was accustomed to eat. And it created constipation. And with that created migraines for myself. Everybody's different. So was migraines, depression, and irritable bowel syndrome. And at the same time, about irritable bowel syndrome too, I was irritated. Many things would irritate me very easy. And I realized that why are they irritating me? Because it's not a big deal. But it was how I was feeling. So my intestines actually were running the rest of my body, especially my brain. So I felt a little bit foggy, like when where are the keys? Can't find them. I know I was going to do something. I forgot about it. Many things. My sleeping patterns were different. I was really tired, but I felt like I was not sleeping. So it seems like I slept, but I still tired. So many things. Then my belly felt bloated, gassy, and I felt toxic. So that's what really that diet did for me. Many of us tolerated a little more. Takes longer than what it took me, but at the same time, at the long run, it exists and it will do that. It will clog the intestines. So raw fish, fiber, it's very important in our diet. That's why vegetables, fruits are very important, because they bring nutrition, life nutrition, but too, they do a cleansing. So that gives us more regularity. So many of the clients too, they'll change their diet, but what will happen is in the beginning, they will still have effects of the gassy bloatiness and stuff, because it's still changing. It takes a little while. I would like to say with one colonics, I can say, great, you're good for life. Well, this is the answer. The answer is I'm still here at Clear Path after 11 years doing clients. And so that means I'm still here to take care of myself, because I know the importance. So everybody will be a different session, program, protocol. Mine, it is between 2 weeks to fluctuate 3 weeks to a month. And the reason is because it hydrates and cleanses and detoxes. So, yes.
I wonder how many people knew before you just said it that being irregular, not having a bowel movement after each time you eat, affects your mental health. So depression and irritability,
Yes.
that's really fascinating. I've never related the two together, so
Yes, and it is. It's amazing, but we don't because, again, knowledge is power.
right.
We have lost which our ancestors used to know. Every culture of ours have a background of actually medicine, herbal medicine. And so we used to actually know that the grandmother says, I have a headache, and they'll say, oh, pick up those herbs, make a tea, you'll be fine. You know, all of that is wonderful. And that's how, too, is important. We lost the ways to heal ourselves because we're not a tribe anymore, because we're not so close to our elders, and we are losing that information. So hopefully, my goal is to continue. When my clients come in, I can give them a little more information so we can pass on that, continue, and they can do that to their children, to their friends, to their family. And baby steps, I call it always baby steps, where, they say, well, I can do that. Baby steps. Hydration is important too for bowel movement, very important. We need to drink at least, working toward half your body weight in ounces of water a day. So many only drink a glass a day, and they drink though coffee, juices, and stuff. It is liquid, but it's not water. So it is important to know that our body requires pH balance of hydration for our blood, and the same thing for detoxing. If we are not drinking enough water, our kidneys are going to recycle the pee back into the system, and that's too why we feel tired, sluggish, foggy, and everything, because the body's trying to function, and it's going to do so with whatever we have in. So yes.
And so with the colonics, there's a small tube
Yes.
that's inserted, and there's a water that helps to hydrate
Yes.
the intestines, so that
Yes.
the if there's any blockages in there, that
Yes.
it will help it to move. And you also use essential oils.
Yes, I use essential oils for example, when I do a little bit of the reflexology, I use either almond sweet oil or organic lotions to help assist me with that. And when we're doing the procedure, so the client, and I know for myself because I do my own colonics, is that we have a little bit symptoms of nauseous, or we have cramping, and just not feeling good and gassy. So I give them a little bit of peppermint oil with sometimes other essential oils, and then we breathe. Breathing is important, as we know, for everything. We are stressed, we should breathe. We hurt ourselves, we forget. We stop and we say, and we don't breathe, so it hurts more. So the idea is, I'm trying to learn myself to do that. Everything, I hurt myself, and then it's like, breathe. If we do the breathing, I believe that the oxygen that comes obviously to our brain and to the action of relaxation, it helps to stop that. For example, depending what we're trying to accomplish. Let's say I have a client that is interested in really having a good detoxing, because then obviously too is going to make an effort to have a cleaner diet or whatever the reason is. So what we do is we'll talk about the recommendation from the doctors is that 2 colonics for every decade of our life. So if this person is 40, it will be 8 colonics, because 2 for every decade. In this case, like I said, this person wants to have a detoxing and then maintain. So it will be the first month, I will be doing their colonics once a week. So that makes it 4. And for the rest, it'll be every 2 weeks. After that, the person will just come for maintenance between 1 month or 2 months. And that depends too, obviously, on their diet, their health, and how are they working with. You will be able to tell when you need it, because you'll notice that you're constipated, gassy, bloated, and it's like, oh, I gotta go and do that. Does that make sense?
It does.
But yes, it's everything different. So for example, someone that is really doing a great diet and everything, once a month, it's okay. The only thing we do is hydrate and loosen up the toxicity. So it's really important to do that.
So why isn't it more known? Why don't more doctors tell their patients when they go in to go and get cleaned out? It just sounds like that's such a perfect part of good health.
Yes, and it was long time ago. It was really long time ago. I believe maybe in the United States until 1920s, the colonics, the famous enemas or colonics, were done in the hospitals. Some of the patients will come in and they will get a colonic, and then the doctor will check on them, and then they'll do either the surgery, whatever it was needed, and then obviously because they knew at that particular time that the surgery will bring what? Constipation, because of the anesthesia and the painkillers. It's just obvious. And no movement, you're laying down on a bed, so if you don't move, you don't move. So that was the reason that at that particular time. But after that, I believe we became more medicine oriented. So more laxatives, more pills, more things like that. And so that stopped. Now, to this point, I think what happened is that our doctors are not educated. I could be wrong, but maybe they're not educated so much in nutrition. I have heard that sometimes they only get one course of nutrition in their whole career because they spend the time of knowing more about medications, more about other things like surgeries and stuff like that. So that's the reason that we don't have that information from them. They do tell us, because I've gone to the doctors, and tell us to eat healthy, drink your water, and all of that. But just very general, drink your water, you'll be fine, it's exercise and stuff like that. So for me, actually, I have not been regular to going to doctors in 14 years. I could say that, but because I really do this, I live healthy as I can. Yes, though I do indulge, yes. Occasionally I'll have my cup of tea or my cup of coffee with cream a little bit, I'll try not to go too bad. Or I can use the coconut creamer, almond milk, things like that. So yes, and sometimes yes, I'll eat a little piece of cake, things like that. But it's in moderation. I know better that I can actually, it's important for me. I am a cyclist, crazy cyclist, and I love to do 100-mile bike rides. To me, actually, it's like going to church. It's my time with the Creator, because my ride is road cycling is up there outside. So I get to see the trees, I get to, climb the mountains, do fun stuff. So it is very exciting to do that because obviously I'm getting the exercise, cleansing the brain too, oxygen, more oxygen, lungs and everything. So I can let go of the stress and I can be a happier person. I realize that when I miss my cycling, I get a little kind of tired, a little depressed, maybe a little bit like, just kind of bored. But cycling is what I do, and I was honored that I had a team of 4 women in 2015, and we crossed the United States. Our team is Sorella Ram Team, and from California, Oceanside, California to Annapolis, Maryland. We did our race, and we got second place, and it was in 7 days, 7 hours, 21 minutes. So that was amazing. Enemas are great and they help. Though we need to do 2 or 3 enemas at the same time. For example, you do 1 bag, hold it, flush in the toilet. Then you do a second bag, hold it, flush. And a third one if it's possible. Why? Because your intestine is as tall as you are. Or is between 5 to 6 feet long. So with 1 little bag, it's not going to be able to flush everything from the intestine. That's why hydrocolon therapy helps, because we do many different flushes. So we are able to loosen a little bit more and then go a little bit further and then a little bit further. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Excellent. So yes, enemas could be the home remedy for the ones that can find a place like mine, and definitely the diet is very important. And then if they do that and they help themselves, it's a possibility too that some of the medications are not going to be needed. Because if you are healthy, you're not going to need, obviously, the high blood pressure medication. So those are the things that I normally tell. One of my clients came in with high blood pressure, and he's now fit and better than was before, but he's still taking the high blood pressure medication. And I told him, what's going on there? Well, they told me it's for life. And I'm like, baby, you gotta go and check it out again, because if the medication is there for many years, what does it mean?
Yes.
It's really not healing you. It's not healing you. So I suggest there are doctors, holistic doctors can assist. There are chiropractors, there are massage therapists too, because it helps with the lymphatic system, it helps with everything. So we're here to assist whoever wants to come. Yes.
Thank you so much, Korey. Is there any one last bit of advice, help, suggestion that you would like to leave?
Yes. And which I like to leave is love. Love. We have abundance of that. My personality is like that. All my clients, my friends, my family, I always tell them, honey, love, sweetheart, angel. And because we are earth angels to each other. And so no matter what we do not have to have per se caretaker lifestyle, but we still, so remember, we're angels to each other, so we help each other, and we hold the energy for each other. So that's my thing. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you, Korey.